What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's FOMC, man. FOMC is when the Federal Reserve decides to meet up and discuss the fate of the US economy. Now, Mr. Powell will be holding the press conference in just shy of 30, 40 minutes time. And we have ourselves just a few more moments until the minutes is released. Now, the minutes is a statement which gives us an overview of what the Fed thinks the economy is going to be looking like and what measures they're going to be taking to try and get inflation down to those key zones. Mad love and respect to everyone passing through to one of the most anticipated moments in the marketplace. Bitcoin hasn't really been doing much today. We've had a little bit of movement in Forex. Dixie still maintaining those lows. It's going to be an explosive one. I will warn you right now, ladies and gentlemen. Please, please proceed with caution when taking trades during this time. This is when the market maker can really manipulate price across the board. Now, we've got liquidations to the upside, liquidations to the downside. What do we mean by that? We mean that we've got traders using leverage. So whether you're on Binance, Bybit, and you are getting ready to take trades or you already have trades on, you've got a liquidation point where your position will be wiped out if price gets towards that zone. But which way is it going to go, ladies and gentlemen? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Or how about it goes up and down and then moves up a little bit to only come down? The FOMC, in principle, is going to be engineering the next journey that price is going to take over the next quarter. What have we got coming out at the end of today's market? We've got Meta declaring its earnings. Now, Meta comes at a $389 billion market cap, so we know that the NASDAQ might be in for a little bit of a surprise tonight, which usually mimics what the S&P is going to end up doing, because if NASDAQ's going to be selling, S&P is going to be selling, the general sentiment across the board will be investors are getting rid of stock if Meta doesn't hit its estimates. And then going into tomorrow's price action, we've got Amazon, we've got Google, Alphabet. They too are declaring their earnings at the close of the New York session tomorrow evening. So we have got ourselves a plethora of news announcements that can rock the market and send it into haywire. Now, in tonight's live, we're going to be bringing it back to the old school, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel, be mindful. I'm probably going to be speaking at speed. I'm going to be telling you what is going on in the chart, because what I'm going to be saying is what you're probably going to be thinking. We're going to be talking about certain price points in Bitcoin that it could go to. We're going to look at Forex. We're going to see what the impression is based on what is discussed in the FOMC press conference, whether or not the dominance of the dollar is going to get started and move back up. You see, we've had a confliction of data coming out, and it only implies that the Fed is going to remain hawkish. 25 basis points is where they are going to increase the interest rates, and more importantly, the issue that we've got is it's already happening that the ECB, in regards to the Eurozone, wants to increase the interest rate by 50 basis points. The UK looking to do exactly the same thing. Now, usually the US is going to follow suit. So is 25 basis points going to be the case? Well, listen, we had a couple of traders. There's usually swaps traders as such who like to bet on whether or not the interest rate is going to be a certain figure. And 99% of them are in the agreement that they're going to increase it by 25 basis points. The only time in my trading career I've ever seen a switch was when USD Swiss had declared a change on their interest rates. They said it was going to be 50 basis points, and they ended up going with 100 basis points, and it completely rocked USD Swiss, and USD Swiss took a nosedive to the downside. It was a last-minute change. Could they do that for the US itself? I don't know. Doubtful, because this move that's been sustained at the start of the year, there has to be some balance, all right? Bitcoin hasn't really been doing too much. It stayed inside of this 22, 23 and a half zone, not seeing success, but that's because we're waiting for the FOMC. And just shy of the next 5 minutes or so, we're going to be seeing the price action, which is going to reflect that. So the structure of what we're going to get is the FOMC minutes. Then we're going to get the federal funds rate. The market is going to initiate a reaction to that. Then 30 minutes later, we're going to have the press conference. The press conference, investors are looking to see how hawkish Powell is going to be. If he gives the slightest glimmer that he's not that hawkish, the markets will favor that and they will run up. But data coming out is conflicting that. Remember, as I said to you guys a couple of days ago, the market is not the economy. The market is just a place for where rich people, investors, banks, hedge funds put money and decide to take on some risk. Simple as that. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to know if they're going to bring the pain or not. Is Powell happy with the market being so high? Could Bitcoin actually recover? Key vector points in the chart. Now, if you are new, make sure you do like and subscribe. You want to learn more about the hybrid, check out the Patreon, which is pinned to the top of the chat, because I'm going to be discussing a few topics that you guys might not be familiar with if you are new. Okay? Chat will help you out if anyone has any questions. Let's bring some fire, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. So, in front of you, we have a couple of things. We've got Bookmap to the right. Now, Bookmap itself is a platform that shows you the pending orders that are actually looking to get filled in Binance. We use Binance because it's the largest platform. Now, to the right, you can see over here that there are orders of sales to the upside, and you've got bids down at the lows right here where traders are looking at getting orders filled in longs. Now, it's always going to be the opposite. If the bids are being hit, which is this green area here, and price is going down, it means people are being sold to or people are buying, all right? In order to buy, someone has to sell. Someone has to sell in order to buy. That is the principle of what we're witnessing in front of us. Right now, Bitcoin is stalling at the VWAP, which is this white line right here. When we zoom out, we kind of have an overview of where price is likely to end up. And you can see down here, we've got a bit of commitment in the chart. At 22,800, we've got 313 Bitcoin orders and 370 Bitcoin orders inside of this region right there. Further down, we're at 22,760. We've got ourselves 376 Bitcoin orders. The principle would say that if the market wants to go towards those orders, right? Because remember, the exchange has an obligation. The exchange has an obligation to the liquidity providers. They have to provide people liquidity because that's what the market maker's there, okay? He makes profit on the spread. He also transacts on the actual transaction that occurs when someone buys and when someone sells. That's where he makes his markup, okay? Doesn't mean that Bitcoin is definitely going to go down to the 28,400 zone. There's no definite. And now we've just had another order come in, which has moved it from 350 Bitcoin orders to 447 Bitcoin orders. Would that give us the impression that people want to get filled in bids lower? So does that mean Bitcoin's going to come down? Okay. Over here, we have ourselves the depth of market for the S&P. Now, the S&P is showing us the point of control right here at the 4,080 zone. We're trading towards the value area low down here. And this is giving me an insight into where the commitment's going to come in. But more importantly, how is value going to change when FOMC comes out? Are they keeping it below the VWAP? Because usually institutional investors like to build longs below the VWAP and sell them as price goes above the VWAP. So we need to understand if they are preparing for a move to the upside when the minutes is released. Because the problem that we've got, ladies and gentlemen, is Bitcoin can move up and make you believe it's going to keep going up, and then it can come straight back down, which is why everyone is waiting for the press conference. Looking at Bitcoin's price action right now, you can see that we've got a vector candle recovery zone, and this is what you learn when you join the Patreon. We talk about how to exploit these sort of scenarios and what strategies you can employ when you do see these candlesticks. These candlesticks aren't magical in the sense where when you see them appear, something magical is going to happen. They are just a point of interest in the chart where retail traders were trapped in the belief that price was going to continue to go lower, which it did do in this instance, but then you can see they come all the way back up towards that vector candle region and got shaken out of those shorts. Okay, this is what you learn. Now, let's make the assumption. I've put in the actual chat right here, ladies and gentlemen. We have got ourselves a little poll, okay? Will Powell bring the pain? That's the question. 66% of you have said yes. 34% of you have said no. Now, we have got ourselves just shy of just 3 minutes until the FOMC minutes comes out. It's not when Powell speaks, so we're going to see a couple of reactions. In the chart itself, you can see Bitcoin has got this wick over here. Now, this is a point where retail traders got into the belief that Bitcoin's going up, so what did they do? They moved price up and pulled it straight back down, all right? That could be a point where Mr. Market Maker knows he can get his shorts filled at the highest point. Because what do? You like to sell from the highest point. You don't want to sell from the lowest point. As long as I keep regurgitating this information to you, you're going to be very mindful when you come to the chart. And when you see price moving up and up and up, you feel like you're missing out on something. No. You start buying as it's rising. You are the sell liquidity. That doesn't mean you cannot exploit a move on the smaller time frames. This is what you call like a momentum move. One of the strategies in the Patreon is the first green vector candle above the 50 EMA. Now, whilst we're waiting for news to come out, go back in the charts and try and find yourself this little green vector candle that appears above the 50 EMA in this zone right here. Go back on the 5-minute time frame. Where else can you see that little strategy coming into play? Here we go. Another one right here. Keep going back. This wouldn't count because it's a very fast candlestick because they brought it straight back. Here's another one down here. Green vector candle above the 50 EMA. Now, this one isn't counting as the first vector because it stayed below the 50 EMA, but it was a clue. Some of you who are well known in the hybrid system would have probably taken along on that principle because you would have anticipated that price was going to try and move higher towards the next points of interest. These are the strategies that we talk about. But when it comes to FOMC, ladies and gentlemen, you do not trade. Simple as that. Because price is going to move up and it's going to move down and shake you out of your position. That's why I will always bang on about you guys making sure you wait for the news to come out. Because whatever is discussed right now, we got some movement in the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever is going to be discussed in the FOMC meeting itself is pretty much going to dictate what happens with cryptocurrency, with the markets across the board. Right, we're going to get everything up here. And keep an eye on the S&P. Remember, Bitcoin has a 70% correlation to the S&P, okay? So if the S&P starts to move up, then we're probably going to be expecting Bitcoin to move up. Here we go. We've got the actual order books right here on Bitcoin. I'm going to be speaking pretty fast, ladies and gentlemen, so you might want to slow the video down. But we're bringing it back to old school, ladies and gentlemen. If you do like the flavor and the fire we're about to bring, be sure to like and subscribe because we don't do this often. But tonight, I'm going to bring you some flame. Here we go. Look at the book map. It's starting to get a bit busy. Bitcoin's starting to move down. Don't do nothing. That's a big sell. There's that 22,800 zone looking like it wants to get taken, but they've paused. They've broken below the VWAP itself. Bitcoin's starting to make some sharp moves. S&P has gone all the way down following the narrative of Bitcoin, but it's coming straight back up. This would be a classic example of a stop run. FOMC minutes is currently out right now, and we're going to be waiting to see the reaction. I don't care what they say. I'm waiting for Powell to have a conversation, and the chart is going to give me that narrative. Okay, so Bitcoin, look at the range. It's just all over the place. Why would you want to trade this sort of situation? Now, what's going on right now is everyone is rushing into the charts. Look at the order book for the S&P right now. We go into the NASDAQ. NASDAQ looks like it's taken an absolute nosedive. Where is it? All the way. Look at the treachery of NASDAQ. How are you going to be able to trade this sort of price action, ladies and gentlemen? You wouldn't want to get involved in this bad boy. Bitcoin still hasn't gone down towards December. We've got 346 Bitcoin orders at 22,760. And notice nothing is happening, okay? That is sort of good news. It's when they start breaking away from this particular range with Bitcoin is when we're going to start seeing some flavor in the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. What have we got? Daily open, tap, come back down, psychological low. This is a very important zone. Yesterday's high hasn't been taken and yesterday's low hasn't been taken, but we actually haven't heard the key news. Bitcoin green vector candle looks like it might want to come up towards that red vector zone. Here we go. This could be a trap, ladies and gentlemen. The orders aren't coming in. There's no liquidity. This might be a trap. Be mindful. Anyone taking longs, be very mindful. They could snap it back down. Some liquidations are coming into the chart right now, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got a trade away from the VWAP itself. Here we go. Be careful. Like I said to you, be mindful when you see these candlesticks. These candlesticks are designed to make you do something. And that's what market maker's just done. He's trapped the longs. Everyone's seen Bitcoin pumping and he's bringing it back down. And we haven't even yet had the press conference, which is what everyone is waiting for. So why would you even trade this sort of scenario, ladies and gentlemen? Let's have a look at what else is moving across the board. Let's go over to Ethereum. Has Ethereum done a nice look at that stop run to the downside, coming all the way back up, holding out so far so good. Euro makes a nice drop to the downside, comes back up. GBPUSD is struggling, did take a nosedive, coming back up with the idea of these strikes coming across the US. USDCAD, stop hunt rise, comes back down again. US gold itself, spiked lower. They could come back into this wick right here, so just be mindful of that. Tesla. What's Tesla doing? Tesla's taking a little bit of a sell-off. If Tesla does start to sell off, ladies and gentlemen, we might actually see the gap right here if they don't hear what they want to hear, ladies and gentlemen. Going into oil. Oil's taking a nosedive, and we would see if oil does decide to come back up, investors might be seeking the safety of commodities, which is where you'd naturally see oil come back up, USD-CAD going down, and then, of course, gold going back up. US 30 right here taking a nosedive, not really moving as fast as I would expect it to, but it's coming close towards these key zones in the chart. Green vector candle region down here, and the wicks down at the lows right there. Could be a promise of US 30 going down. Remember, US 30 is the top 30 by market cap in the US stock market. And it's the likes of Amazon, Apple, those bad boys right there selling off, which could imply to me Bitcoin might be pulling back. We've got a red vector candle right here, green vector candle. It's changing. Let's just go into the smaller time frame to see what's going on. Look at this manipulation, man. People have put orders at the lows and at the highs, hoping that they get filled. Look what's gone on with those guys right there. They took a short and they got filled. Happy days, it reversed back up. That's a sad story, okay? This is only before the federal fund, the press conference itself, ladies and gentlemen. Before, here we go, we've got some movement. Look, stop hunt rise coming back down. Are we going to see this liquidity down below at 336, 352 Bitcoin orders down at 22,700? Those orders seem to be a bit static in the chart. This is what, look, the psychological low seems to be a point in the chart right here. This is where the market sets the spread at the start of the week, and they seem to be stalling inside of this area. It's key region why they keep hitting it once, twice, 3 times. Why are they holding out inside of this zone? It's going back up again. Let me just change the higher time frames to get a better overview of things. Here we go. Where's Bitcoin right now? There we go, right there. There's Bitcoin for you, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see it clear as day. Okay, so look. We zoom in close. Look at all these liquidations. These are all liquidations right here. The unfortunate story for the retail trader who ain't patient to wait for the news to come out. Top side, we have got some interest at 23,300, which shows 410 Bitcoin orders, and it doesn't seem like it wants to stay inside of that region. How many of you in the chat with me? 2,361 of you. Mad love and respect for everyone passing through. Make sure you like the stream. We are close to that 100K region. 100,000 subscribers. It's absolutely madness. Got nothing but love for you all, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do like what you're hearing, because we ain't even started yet, and the actual press conference will be in 25 minutes time, and we're going to see the true manipulation of what the market is going to be delivering for us. Will Powell bring more pain? How many of you said that? 1,483 of you have said yes. 64% of you have said yes, he's going to bring pain. Is that pain going to start now? Because the minutes might be giving us a little bit of an insight into it. Let's just go over to Exo Charts for a split second and have a look at the delta. Now, the delta is an important factor. It gives you the net difference between the buys and the sells, but we understand the buys and the sells a little bit differently here. Right now, you've got minus 29% on the delta, but it's 9.9 million in volume. That is terrible. But you've got volatility in the chart, okay? Now, is Mr. Market Maker setting a trap here for the press conference? So investors will think, okay, he's not that hawkish and he's going to bring price back up. Who knows? But Bitcoin could actually collapse to the downside because we started to see down at the lows right here. If I zoom in, you can see you've got negative delta, minus 45%, minus 30 at 17 million, minus 42 at 19 million, and then, of course, minus 38% at 16 million. If I am taking you or blowing you away with what I'm discussing, that's what the Patreon's for. I help you understand this in more detail and apply it to your trading. Now, listen. Bitcoin, quite frankly, has gone nowhere. Well, what do you know? But you must have taken something from this. You see how they manipulate the range. Look at these orders now coming into the chart. Red, big stack right here, 488 Bitcoin orders at 22,800. Are they going to go for that liquidity? That's the question. Will they rip into that zone? Because you see here, this is the session volume profile right here. We are in an agreement. We're at the VWAP in principle. So there seems to be a balance in the chart. So we haven't had the move just yet. The second Bitcoin starts to move away from this zone, that's pretty much going to dictate the narrative of what to expect going into the rest of the week. We got non-farm payrolls coming out this week, ladies and gentlemen. If we check it out, here we go. Where is it? Non-farm payrolls coming out towards the end of the week. And today, we had ourselves, look at this job opening opportunities, man. Look at the JOLTS job openings. More jobs available. That's a pain in the backside for Mr. FOMC. He ain't happy with that. More people going into work or jobs being available. We just had 100,000 people laid off in the tech sector, ladies and gentlemen. So what's the story there? Okay? Now, we need to go over to the dominance of the dollar because this is very important. Here we go. Dollar dominance. If you notice what's been going on with dollar, why on earth have they been holding inside of this zone? This is something of importance. The last point of interest in the dominance of the dollar was in this zone right here. And look at how they respected that region right there. Okay, this was the last vector candle region that they could have come into in the chart right there. They've come back into it. Happy days. Well, what does that mean for us? It means now our traders going to anticipate the hawkish stance, which is going to send the dominance of the dollar all the way back up to the 102 mark. Only the press conference can achieve that, okay? Now, something else. The volatility index. Now, I've said to you guys, the volatility index, the markets have been giving different readings, man. And guys who use the volatility index, which tells you the relationship between how many people are favoring lower price against how many people are favoring higher price, all right? And when we go back into this chart, you can see that we are at turning points in the volatility index. Look at this region here, okay? And then look at this zone right here. Because in order for the market to be at a point where you buy it, the volatility index suggests that it has to be above 30. Well, we are all the way down here. So I would be in the agreement with you guys and say that everyone's optimistic about things. Let's just go over to the S&P for a second. S&P coming into that key trend line. I drew this trend line because everyone's drawing it on Twitter. And I'm looking at it so that I can see how likely people are going to get sucked in if they can't break beyond this point. There are people that are actually loading up longs right now in anticipation for the S&P to go up. And the S&P could actually spike up if the hawkish stance is not as effective as they are thinking it's going to be. If we go over to the actual stock, to Bloomberg itself, look, traders are also passing a bevy of conflicting data earnings. Federal Reserve seen raising rates by 25 basis points. We know this. And the market has already priced this in. But this is what we're concerned about, if he's going to remain hawkish. So here's going to be a double slap to the market. All right? Let's assume that Apple misses its earnings, but they are projecting to potentially get $96 billion worth of revenue coming in. So they might have a good earnings announcement. But my concern is this. If FOMC comes out before the news announcements and suggests a positive indication of the economy, Apple might actually strike up and come into this vector candle region at 149. But if it doesn't, we got vector candles down here, and we've got gaps in the chart that Apple might actually come back and finalize. Meta is the only thing that is left for tonight's earnings declaration. And we've got, looking to the left, you've got vector candles all the way up here. The Powell has to come with some fire. He has to convince the markets that everything's all good. If we keep decreasing interest rates, guys, from now, we're only going to be setting ourselves up for what could potentially be happening or what happened in the 70s, all right? Now look at Bitcoin. Nothing is happening because we're waiting for the press conference in 25 minutes, all right? Let's have a look at some altcoins across the board to see if there are any opportunities for you guys to exploit. Right, here we go. Loopring, moving up aggressively. Now listen, when I do these altcoins, all right, what happens is I'm looking for altcoins that have made an aggressive move away from key moving averages, specifically the 1 hour time frame, okay? So, Filecoin, not moving away from the moving average, in line with holding because we're waiting for FOMC. AAVE, not doing much. XRP, not doing much. So it's nice to see the altcoins are actually respecting what's going on, okay? If we actually go over to the totals chart in the altcoin market, majority of the altcoins are trading below the 200 EMA, trying to come up from that region, okay? So then that means that we're waiting for what would be called a breakout in these altcoins. Let's look at Solana. Solana has been a little bit treacherous across the board and literally thrown people about, hearing calls for Solana to go to $100. Are they going to hold inside of this zone? But we got huge imbalances in the chart, ladies and gentlemen. Huge imbalance. Let's have a look at MATIC for a second. Here we go. MATIC holding out. See, look. Key zone. Some of you in the hybrid system would look at this and say, Tino, this could be a W formation. What do we mean by that? This is a psychological pattern. One would be on the assumption that if MATIC can break away from this zone and show support, this green vector candle would need to close, in my opinion, above the 1.12 zone. Once that is achieved, they will come back down to test that narrative to continue back up and eat the top side liquidity over here. This is how you structurally form a pattern to trade, all right? What would you need to be aware of if the pattern's invalidated? Price would need to stay below the 50 EMA. Now, you might actually get a stop run above that zone for it to come back down again because they had their chance for momentum up here. Now they're trading below the key moving average on the 1 hour time frame. You go into the 50-minute time frame and you have a look at where price is in relation to the moving averages. It's doing an abnormal move. Look at it. It's gone above the 50, above the 800, above the 200, can't even get above the daily open. And when you see big candlesticks like this, guys, you've got to ask yourself, well, hold on a second, why is it not going anywhere? So you wait. If this candlestick is going to be the proof of the move, you go into the smaller time frames and say to yourself, all right, then what am I seeing? What can I see happening? 1, 2, another third push. Couldn't even get above the daily open. Where's the volume? Big push up. Are they actually building shorts? Or are they actually trying to come away from this zone because they've convinced enough traders that price is going lower, so they've got the retail trader trapped in shorts? You see, what you've got to understand, guys, is this. This is what happens. When price makes its way above a key zone, it consolidates and stalls inside of this area. Most breakout traders will be waiting and setting orders above this zone here, and of course, below this zone down here. And they will be hoping that price does one of two things. It hits this zone here or hits this zone right here, all right? When price does decide to break out, it's triggered enough orders for the market to say, you know what, we've got our orders filled at the highest possible point to run our shorts, we'll rip it back down again. That's why there's a lot of frustration for retail traders who do trade breakout ranges. Your job is to always wait for the retrace, because if you're trading range breakouts and it breaks out of a zone, you want proof that it's going to continue higher, okay? So that's where you actually come into this point right here and say, okay, bring it back down. I'm going to pay attention to see if it can come back up into this zone. Because if you run along from this point here, what are you missing out on? Nothing. Because it's gone back into the same point you went long from. So it's better to wait. Don't feel like you're going to miss out on a move to the upside, because you can see right here with MATIC, it's made a move to the upside. It hasn't gone above the daily open. So what are you looking for? I want to see proof of it. Come back down to this point right here, back where the medium was, and prove to me that the proof of the interest in this zone is where Mr. Market Maker is going to bring price and reverse it back up again. That's how you conserve yourself. That's how you trade the pattern. And this is the tattoo pattern that started the basis of this channel, where you have yourself a break of a safety trade, or you take advantage of an elite trade, which does take on a little bit more risk, but you actually see, hopefully, volatility coming into this zone right here, okay? This is what we talk about in the Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you learn these structures. Bitcoin, here we go. Now, let's just understand something. Green vector candle, red candle, green vector candle is also another strategy which tells us something about the way they're manipulating price. Has Bitcoin been formulated to come back down towards this zone again? Did they trap the traders short, hit some liquidations to bring it back up again? In your opinion, chat, where do you think Bitcoin's going to end up? Based on what we see right here. Down here, we got 342 Bitcoin orders at 22,800, and they seem to be adding to it. They're not taking it away. And down here, we just had this huge commitment. Down at the lows right here, there was a stack of Bitcoin orders right here, which they canceled. Now look, on this chart, you see this white line right here? This white line right here are the orders that are due to be filled. Now, Bookmap is notorious for spoofs, which means orders that are being canceled. If you, upon closer inspection, look at this. All right? Can you see? There's orders at 23,200. See that order that just disappeared right there? That order could have been placed in the market to make people believe that, yeah, it's going to go up to that point, but they removed it at the same time. That's a spoof. You want to be focusing on the orders that are static. 339 Bitcoin orders at 23,200. And then we've got 349 Bitcoin orders at 22,800. This is how you navigate the potential for price to move from one point to the next. Moving averages are somewhat laggard. The only thing that you have is the actual price action. Closer look on the VWAP, we can see they're trading below it, but they seem to be coming back up above it. Is it giving me the impression that they're going to try and come down to move back up, or move back up to come down? See that order just then? Did anyone see that big order right there? That was 451 Bitcoin orders. Now it's dropped down to 351. We use this to determine the relationship between the auction of buyers and sellers. Who's winning the game? Down here, we got 385 Bitcoin orders. What we got here? Keep an eye on the 5-minute chart, chat. What's going on, chat, anyway? Tino, stop the bear talk. Listen, I have no interest in Bitcoin going up or down. I'm looking for volatility. It's not about Bitcoin bear talk. And if you can't handle the truth of the market going up or down, you ain't a trader. That's the truth. That's the basis of trading. You have no interest in bias. You have an interest in movement. Yeah, I know. I gave you the 8K projection. Cool. That's a longer time frame. Don't need to justify it. But as a trader, you're looking for movement. If I see orders coming in at 384 Bitcoin orders at 23,123 right now, that's going to make me think, okay, What's the chance of them getting filled? I look to the chart and see, okay, Bitcoin's coming down to recover that green vector candle. Is it going to come and eat some of this wick and test the interest of traders at the psychological low? I'm gauging the idea of how likely is my play going to work if I decide to run a trade. Now is not a time to run a trade because you're waiting for news announcements, which is why Bitcoin's moving up and down. That's the basis of it. Holders do care. I get that. Don't get it twisted. Holders do care. But you have a longer time frame to make a decision on. But holders in principle shouldn't really care because you just want to pick up as much Bitcoin as possible. That's the assumption, my understanding of a holder in Bitcoin. Now, of course, when it comes to DCA, you guys are going to want to try and get the best price that you can. Because when we DCA, we go on the assumption that when we do make a DCA purchase, that at some point Bitcoin's going to go back up towards that point. But when you look at the charts every single day, you know what they say, zoom out. All right? Zoom out. Well, let's go on the weekly time frame and look at Bitcoin when we zoom out. All right? Look at this. Are you missing out on anything? No. Go to the daily chart. Are you missing out on anything? Bitcoin hasn't really gone anywhere yet of interest. It's just moved up into the last zone that it was when everyone was pumped about Bitcoin's bottom coming in. Cool. Look onto the 3-day chart. Have you missed out on anything? Not necessarily. This might be a point in the chart that you feel, okay, Bitcoin, I might add to this and try and take advantage of price going up towards the 200 EMA on the 3-day chart or the monthly chart. Look at the monthly candle, green vector candle right there. Is the FOMC going to send Bitcoin to recover some of this vector candle? Who knows? But Bitcoin hasn't really gone anywhere for anyone to be concerned that they're missing out on an opportunity. Do you buy on the first candle that closes positive for the month? No, you wait for it to get to a point where you are in agreement that, yeah, okay, I believe price can continue higher from this point. Yeah? But there is no one strategy. You might be right with the way you do it. I might be wrong with the way I do it. Ultimately, we're here to try and work out the best possible way to make money when it comes to trading. And when you're trading, it's a treacherous game. If you're fixated on one direction, that's going to cost you money. Open yourself up into being able to say, you know what, I can see it's bearish. And I give you the macros to help you understand that the market and the economy are two different things. Okay? 25 basis points is what we're looking for. Cool. So let's just go over to that. Has that happened? Here we go. Hit the news. We'll continue reducing its balance sheet as planned, so they're not pumping any money. That's cool. 3 ways for the FOMC to surprise hawkish, even if data is also critical. Powell likely to stress Fed's inflation fight far from over. So we're already getting the idea that Mr. Market Maker's probably going to start pumping price, not pumping price, but starting to play into the idea that Powell is going to be very hawkish. The markets have algorithms, okay? We're going to be getting into it very shortly. The market is programmed with algorithms to pick up keywords, all right? They're not going to wait for Powell to speak before they move price, okay? So once we start hearing keywords like struggle, economy, ability, downturn, soft, hard landing, keywords that make investors do something, the market is going to react to that. That's why this press conference is so important for the market over the next 3 months. Some analysts have called in and said, look, we need 6 months of data to pretty much determine if the Fed should slow it down. But interest rates are going to be higher for longer. Apple, Google, Alphabet, Amazon, they're going to let us know if the earnings for those companies are projected to do well. All right? If we do get any saving grace and those earnings are great, happy days. The markets will then move up because the market cap for all those stocks is huge. Okay? But the bigger picture suggests that, I mean, look, they're even talking about that we might not even go into a recession, but the Eurozone's heading into a recession. The UK is heading into a recession, but why is the US not in that directive? The labor market is too strong. Now, take macros and understand that macros take longer to come into play. That's where your decision as an investor, holder of Bitcoin, is going to reflect whether you made the right call or not. And that's the name of trading. That's the name of investing. You think Warren Buffett gets it right all the time? Well, he's got capital to put everywhere and diversify himself. That's why when you do DCA, don't load up with all your bag. Give yourself a bit of an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm trying to try and hedge myself against the value of Bitcoin going down and sit in a little bit of cash. Or go and pick up another commodity. Go invest somewhere, defense stock, something like that, or to that nature, to that accord. Let's have a look at what's going on. Right, here we go. Right. Orders down here, 460 Bitcoin, again at 22,960. I'm not liking that. We've got big orders coming down at the lows, and we've got to pay attention to this. Big wick, stopping volume candle on Bitcoin. Let's go to smaller time frames. See, look what I mean, man. Back in the same zone right there. Let's just go quickly have a look at Euro. Euro's done exactly the same thing. Pound sterling, same story. Dollar yen makes the move up. I don't like that. I don't like dollar yen moving up so aggressively. That could be a bit of a clue. Gold is holding out. I need to look at oil again. Oil's not really made the move, which suggests to me that some investors could turn to cash. Oil's going down. USDCAD must be going up. There we are. A little bit of a movement to the upside. Tesla hasn't really done much. It's starting to come down on the 1 minute. Getting ready to start to do something. NASDAQ, sharp move up, sharp move down. Volatility index still holding out. I need to see the bonds. The bonds on the 1 hour. This is what you want to be aware of. If they start putting money into the bonds, then that's kind of a good idea for the stock market because they're favoring risk. But if this starts to roll over and the yields start to turn, then we might have ourselves some bad news by Mr. Powell. How many of you done it? 2,198 of you have voted saying that, yes, Powell is going to bring the pain. Yeah, this is true. Many will be left without a dollar, okay? And this game is treacherous. This is why I'm always saying to you guys, pay yourselves. How many times has Bitcoin spiked up to spike down? Look what happened over here. Had a nice little pump to the upside, red vector candle recovery to the left of the chart. And again, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the fire, which is in the next 5 minutes, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit the like button. Thank you to 800 of you who have liked the stream. And if you are new, want to learn more, be sure to subscribe. I've lost my voice before the fire is about to begin. You want to learn more about these strategies, check out the Patreon. It's the start of the new month. And we're going to be doing some masterclass sessions tomorrow for the patrons. We're going to be talking about a couple of strategies that you can use once the FOMC is done. So, get ready. In the next 5 minutes, Powell is going to be discussing how hawkish the market is going to be. We know that they're going to be increasing interest rates. They're starting it off small with 25 basis points. No terminal rate just yet, boys and girls. But he's going to reveal to us if that's going to be the case. Listen to what he's saying. I'm not going to pay attention to what he's saying. I'm going to pay attention to what the chart's going to be doing. Because the chart is going to give me the true indication as to whether or not they're going to give us what we want to hear. If Bitcoin is going to sustain this move to the upside, all right, when the press conference comes out, there's going to be initial reaction. So it's the anticipation. Bitcoin could spike up. Don't do anything. It could come back down. Don't do anything. Wait for Powell to give us the meat of the meeting, okay? Then you'll know where you stand. Because if you want to play with fire, ladies and gentlemen, like the poor guys who took advantage of a long to the upside and a short to the downside and prices back in that same zone, they just absorbed that fear and that greed for no reason. It's all about improving the chance of the trade playing out. And this is what I say to everyone in the Pattern Watchers Discord. Avoid news. I'm not here to scaremonger you. I'm not here to give you no FUD. I'm giving you the basics of the markets and the facts that they're giving us. Now, whether it's true or false, it doesn't matter because the chart's going to dictate that story. Price is currently at the 200 and the 50 EMA. There's no reason for you to trade. This day has been terrible for trading. Look at it. Why would you want to get involved? Or are you excited about the idea that you could get involved in a position that's going to make you a ton load of cash because you caught it before FOMC? Look. Wait for FOMC to finish. Trade to your heart's content. But then, of course, on Thursday, guys, we're gonna have the ECB main refinancing rate, and they're projecting 50 basis points. Bank of England's going to be increasing their interest rates as well. So we've got some volatility for those guys coming soon. And you want to be focusing on the dominance of the dollar when that information is released tomorrow. Look, dollar's coming back down again. We might be in for a bit of a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. 3 minutes. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Let's get our chart set up, guys. Okay. Trading below the VWAP. Where's our Exo Charts? Let's reload that bad boy. Have a look. Right. Volume, 26 million, 0% on the delta. Price hasn't really gone anywhere. Lots of accumulation in here. Here we go. Selling up. Not doing much. Big orders just come in. Not good. I really need to see and hope that Bitcoin applies this stopping volume candle and comes back and eats this stopping volume candle. Look, if they come back towards this point at speed, wait for price to retrace into it to see if it can continue higher. The retrace might be quick. That's where you use the smaller time frames to establish that. Okay? But principally, you see this move here? Rise, retrace. That's the clue right there. Could it go back up above the daily open, or are they just getting price prepared to go lower around the 2300 zone? 23,000 is the whole number principle where they like to build their shorts. Again, Powell can say something which can rock the market. So just, guys, wait for him to finish. Don't want you guys losing money, man, and getting involved in scenarios that are just going to be a gamble. That's not what you're here for. Here we go. Right, where we at? NASDAQ is currently beyond value area lows, or way beyond value area highs. Okay, so they're seeking value. S&P, here we go. We've got some movement. Oh, my days. This is going to start getting busy. Here we go. Let's get the book map up. Here we go. Bitcoin starting to pull back. We've got orders 405, Bitcoin at 22,900. Wait for the initial reaction. Hold on to your horses, man. This is where it's about. Got some big orders coming in, selling off. 412 liquidations in that zone. 22,800, got 378 Bitcoin orders at that point. Is it going up or is it going down? You want to wait until the news comes out before you make that distinction. Here we go. FOMC press conference. This is where the magic begins. Here we go. Keep an eye out on Bitcoin. The first bit of information that's going to come out, which is going to suggest whether the Fed's going to be hawkish, is going to be a big, bold move right here. Keep an eye out. We've got a wick over here that they could come to. Wait for the news. Which, what I'm doing here, guys, is anticipating you, because this is before you make a decision. But don't make a decision because it can shoot up and down. You just saw that just is what happened, okay? Wait until the tone has been set in the market. Here we go. Here we go. Big order filled right there. 145 Bitcoin is starting to move. 460 Bitcoin at 22,900. Are they going to break the psychological low? 22,800 down here. We don't want to see them add to this order here. That will suggest they're going to come down. I'm looking for price. I'm not interested in what they say. They're holding. That's good. That's good. Bitcoin might be a little bit late to the party. 23 is holding it, eating that liquidity. Big order up there, 23,300, 390 Bitcoin orders coming in. I want to see if that's going to be a spoof, or are they going to actually bring the pain? Come on, pal. What have you got for us? Delta's coming down. It's really slow. Here we go. Collection of orders here. This looks like a bit of an algorithmic play. 305 Bitcoin, 259. They just took away some orders right there. Nice little spoof play. 22,800 seems to be a point of interest. 22,800 seems to be a point of interest. If they keep adding to this, I'll be of the impression they could go towards it. Trading away from the VWAP. Is he going to say something? Big orders coming in. 500 Bitcoin. Here we go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. 22,800. They want to swipe it. This could turn. Wait. Wait for it. Yesterday's low could be a promise. Yesterday's low could be a promise. Wait for it. Liquidations are just coming now. We've got 512 Bitcoin at 22,640, and they seem to be static in that zone. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Just be careful. This is a 15-minute time frame. Broken the psychological low, and they move away from the daily open. The stopping volume candle seems to be coming into play. The stopping volume candle is a candlestick where market makers send price towards a point, trap the liquidity, but instantly reverse it back because they don't want to release the liquidity further up because it would tell us that they have finalized the interest of where they've been building their shorts. And that is an example right here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys paid yourself on those longs, man. You know, here we go. That is okay. I don't like that. I don't like that. look, be careful here. They might snap up. Be mindful. 1,000 Bitcoin orders at the lows. The delta would suggest 10 million, 38 million at 61%. A little bit of a recovery might coming into play, ladies and gentlemen. But 38 million at 61%, were they giving us the clue that it was starting to happen with the collective of delta, minus 45, minus 42, minus 38, and then bang, 38 million at 61%. Let's see if it's going to continue. Let's see. Dollar dominance, where we at? We got Euro coming down. Is Euro making a move lower? Tesla's trading lower. Euro takes a dump to the downside, ladies and gentlemen. Dixie, no, don't do that. Do not do that. Thank you very much. Bitcoin's just going down. That green vector wick, patrons, you know what we're talking about. Is it going to play out? They're holding out here. What has Powell said? I know I said I didn't care. Full effects of rapid tightening yet to be felt. Of course. Of course his rapid tightening hasn't been felt yet. The market is not the economy. 22,800, ladies and gentlemen. They're stalling. A little bit of a recovery. What's he saying? What's he saying? Yesterday's low is yet to be taken. The problem is, this is where trading gets exciting. Everyone's now rushing in to go short. But this is where you wait. Because the proof of the short will reverse back up and then come back down again. You do not run shorts the second price drops. You wait for the confirmation. This is what we mean by confirmation. 5-minute time frame. Red vector candle. Wait for it. Wait for it. Bang. Red vector candle on the 5-minute time frame. What does that suggest to you? It tells you that traders now are getting liquidated. But it's also giving us a clue that they could try and come back up into it. I want proof of the move. I ain't going to put my money down if it's going to shake me out. Look, everyone's gone short. They reversed it. Now we're waiting for the proof. Look at price now coming in towards that wick. Want to fill that wick or recover the vector? It's moving too fast. He's talking. He's moving. Violet vector candle. 10 minutes of pain. Here we go. It's coming back up. Need to go and see. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Dixie. Dixie shoots up yet again. Blue vector candle. I'm cautious about Dixie because they could recover the wicks. NASDAQ. Oops. Coming down, breaking this area. Green vector candles down here. We're close towards taking it. SPX rolling over, fills the gap in the chart, comes up again. FTD on NASDAQ. Where is it? Where's our drawing? No. There it is. FTD right there in that play. We want to see if they can actually bring it. VIX coming up. Bonds holding. Yields coming. Not really giving me that flavor just yet. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's go into the chart. Have a look here. Volumes present. Look at how they just trap the retail trader. 22,800 gets taken and then Bitcoin sharply moves back up. We want to see green vector candles on the 1-minute time frame. No green vectors, please. No green vectors. Ah, man. Okay, look. There's the proof of the move right here. Red vector candle pushes price to the downside, traps retail traders to go short. Cool. Then what happens? They come back up, shake out those same retail traders that went short. Now they've taken their liquidity. They've also built more shorts for the market makers. So now we're waiting to see if they're going to come back and eat the liquidity inside of this zone. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. This could then send price all the way back up. But we'll want to wait and see what Powell has to say because it's only been 7-8 minutes whilst he's been speaking. We'll want to wait and see what they have to say. Back up into that VWAP zone. They are bullying people up. We're waiting to see the proof of this move on the 1-minute time frame. That's what we're waiting for because this area here is what we want to see. We want to see them recover this area and show that, yes, they want to go lower. But if they can sustain this move even higher and get back up, even into the daily open, then we'll be looking at price coming up towards this wick and, of course, the red vector candle zones. Ideally, you want to wait and see when Powell finishes talking, then the market will initiate the reaction. But look what's going on. Chat. Well, look, put it like this. So, great question. So literally every movement with Bitcoin is manipulation. How can you be so sure of something that's speculative? Look, the market is the relationship between whether you believe it's going up and someone else believes it's going down. All right? If I believe Bitcoin's going to keep going up, then I'm going to take a position and Bitcoin is moving up right now. It's saying something. So the market is making people believe that Bitcoin has bottomed from this zone and it's going to start continuing up. How long it moves up for? Because they did exactly the same thing here. Are we going to see them sell off from this point? That's how you navigate the charts. It is manipulation. And whether we like to believe it or not, that's the truth of the game. You're trading an unregulated environment. Back again at that VWAP. They've come down, sold below, picked up the buys, move up, sell into those retail traders yet again. All right? Now we're waiting to see if... So the market's going to now react. We'll need to substantially... Here we go. Labor demand substantially exceeds supply. That's a problem. Inflation remains well above our longer run goal. Inflation data over the past 3 months shows welcome reduction in the pace of increaseness. We'll need substantially more evidence to be confident inflation on a downward path. Okay. Fed Powell, longer term inflation expectations will remain well anchored, but that's not grounds for complacency. So they're going to keep increasing interest rates. That's the truth. They're going to keep increasing it. But for how long? Now the market's going to react now. Again, no reaction. This is manipulative plays. We want a directive. We want to see the momentum start to move price. Before they start trending towards a certain zone, price has to do its business. And why are they doing it all above the 23 zone? That's the question. If they can sustain this point, 10 minutes into the press conference, happy days. Bitcoin will continue higher. But we've got this candle closing in the next 5 minutes and we'll know the proof of the move because this is where most of the volume's transacted. So once the next candle starts, we're going to have an insight into whether or not this candle's going to continue Bitcoin higher. Did they mark price lower to trap traders short? To bring it back up and eat the liquidity to move it higher? We're going to know in the next 5 minutes if this candlestick is going to prove the move to the upside for Bitcoin. Okay? They hit that liquidity and we were saying, hold, wait for it. Because retail was going short at this point. You don't short when it drops. You short as it rises. And the idea is that you think that the point that it rises towards is going to be the point where market makers trapped enough traders in the belief that the price is going up because there's people there buying and he's selling into them. And then he will reverse price and move it in the opposite direction. That's why the market is manipulated. It's not so easy for us to just buy and hope for the best. Investors, holders, this is noise to you. A holder would not make a decision on Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame in a price range point that goes from this zone towards this point. Okay, a 1%, or nearly a 2% move, and it's not even trading positive for the day. You ain't gonna make that decision, bruv. That's the truth. It looks like Powell hasn't brought that much pain. The market is already being resilient towards it. Let's just have a look at what's going on elsewhere. Euro, there you go, coming up into that beefy zone. Pound, coming up into that beefy zone right there. So it hasn't really done much just yet, but green vector candle, 5 minutes left until that candlestick finalizes. So we'll get the proof of that very shortly. Dollar dominance I'm seeing is actually broken down. It hasn't actually taken this zone just yet. This could be a reversal coming, guys. Wait for it to finish. This could be a reversal. It's moving too fast. Here we go. Here we go. Bitcoin hasn't moved just yet. Here we go. Climbing up. There's no liquidity. Look, where's the liquidity gone? Where's the liquidity gone? I want to see big orders coming in. I'm not seeing anything. 2,411 Bitcoin orders at 22,500. What is that? What is going on there? No liquidity in the chart. But we're down here, we have got 2,406 Bitcoin orders on the bids at 22,500. Is that a clue? Is that a clue? Why is it stalling? There's no movement. Anything else? We are not yet at a sufficiently restrictive level on rates. Okay. Let's see if they're going to do it. I'm hoping that they actually recover this wick. It's moving, man, it's moving. Here we go. Liquidity up here, 23,490. We saw that play. Look at that. Look what's going on. You don't like those? Get rid of that, Tina. Come on, bro. Get rid of that. Here we go. What's he saying? People now scared and going to gold. That is probably something that is happening. I don't like those orders down there on the book map. What is that about? Look at that order down here. 2,376 orders of Bitcoin at 22,500. Is this a stop run? Is this a stop run? Vector candle finishing in 2 minutes. The speed of this candle is going to give us the reason to believe that things might be getting Interesting. Here we go. 2 minutes. Keep an eye on dollar dominance, ladies and gentlemen. Dollar dominance, where are you? Here we go. Let's tap that low. Key support point for dollar dominance. 1 minute 53. Bitcoin, are you going to do it? It's not made the move yet. It's not making that move. What are you doing, bruv? There we go. There's liquidity, 23,500 right there. Still not taking that wick. Oh, my days. 22,367 Bitcoin orders. I hope they cancel it. I hope they cancel it. Is he going to say something? S&P shooting up, dollar dropping. Look, this next candle's going to be the proof of it, ladies and gentlemen. What's Exo Charts doing? 7 million. That is nothing. No liquidity. That is dead volume right there. I want to see that in the 30s, bruv. Oh, my days. Is this going to be a stop run? Do you know what? If this turns out to be a stop run, then you would then witness the manipulation of the markets. Is he going to say something stupid? Okay. Is this the last moment that the smart money is just taking advantage of retail to reverse it? Here we go. New 15-minute candle, 44 seconds. Hold on to your horses, ladies and gentlemen. Is this going to be the reversal? If not, then they're going to be working the previous vector candle up here that we marked off earlier on as a point of interest. We had the manipulation. Are they going to sustain this move to the upside? Proof of it. 29 seconds. Here we go. Don't like that. Don't like a big order coming in. 2,354 Bitcoin orders, and they're stacking up in that zone. That might be for later on, guys. You don't know. Wait for the press conference to finish. They could come to it later on. But here we go. 10 seconds. Here we go. Proof of it. Will the candle recover the wick and continue, or is it going to rip back down? Was this a trap? How many of you believe it's a trap? How many of you think it's a trap? Here we go. Recovery of the vector, or is he going to run for it? No movement. No movement. No movement. What's he saying? We haven't made a decision yet on terminal rate. Of course you haven't. Of course you haven't. We don't know when the terminal rate... Everything is screaming for price to go down. Investors don't know what the terminal rate is. 1970s again? They don't know where the terminal rate is, then we ain't got no pivot happening, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to happen. 2,356 Bitcoin orders. Is this the trap? Be careful. Please. Don't just blindly go into trades. Watch what's going on. Witness the sickness. They're waiting. Look, the VWAP right there. It's the last point that they can show support from. If this is going to be the proof of the move. Look at the treachery right there. Treachery. Why? 22,500, bruv. Those orders are stacking up in that area. I don't like that. You zoom in even more and it's still 2,363 orders. Come on, Bitcoin, do the move, man. Let people earn something. I'm not seeing it. Ladies and gentlemen, 2,700 of you, mad love and respect for passing through. Make sure you like the stream and be sure to subscribe so you can get notified about these bad boy fire streams that we keep on doing. We've got non-farm payrolls coming out on Friday, which is also going to be a big market mover, okay? Look, it's coming back. Hopefully, this is the proof of the move. Have the market fully absorbed what Powell has said? No terminal rate. Going to be restrictive. We're just going to keep on moving price. That would be the market dismissing everything. Investors don't care. They know the Fed's decisions are going to take a little while. Are they just setting price up? We got this wall right here. Dixie dumping hard. Let's have a look at Dixie. Is Dixie breaking that zone? This is really important. Tesla up 2%. Happy days. Wow. Dixie has just broken a key support zone. GBPUSD. Wow. Nice move up there. Man, I'm so glad I got out of that. So happy. EURUSD climbing up towards that 1 mark. Peak formation, breach, waiting for the retrace to see if this is a stop run. Okay, this is a peak right here. Is this a stop run? We need to see the proof of that. Dixie still holding out. It's broken down. They've come down to that 100 mark. That's a very important point. NASDAQ shooting up. The market just doesn't care what Powell is saying. We are not sufficiently restrictive level rate. That is crazy, man. The market is different. Full effect? No, nothing. It doesn't care, ladies and gentlemen. This is either going to be a stop run for non-farm payrolls, or we are just going to keep on flying up, and Bitcoin's just going to keep on making those happy days gains to the upside. There's that red vector candle recovery point right there, ladies and gentlemen. There's the liquidity. Look at that big order right there. 2,000 Bitcoin orders down there still. Oh, man. Powell didn't seem to bring any pain for us. Brought a little bit of pain, but nothing to get worried about. We need Bitcoin to get above the psychological high right here, because this structure right here, the W formation that we drew out on MATIC earlier on, goes for Bitcoin. Wait for the retrace, continuation to the upside. That is it. That's what you're looking for. They come up and eat this liquidity here. 335 Bitcoin orders at 23,400. Seems to be like a little bit of wall of interest here. That order down there, I do not like it, man. It needs to really do something for me here. Really don't like that. My days, I'm working up a sweat right here. Powell just said the most bullish thing. There you go. What did he say? We can now say for the first time that disinflationary process, oh, wow. Process has started. Disinflation. Okay, that's going to be great for purchasing. Oh, wow. Here we go. I mean, look at all this commitment coming in here. VWAP selling above that zone. We're waiting for the proof of the move, the retrace to come into play. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest now. Start of FOMC. In hindsight, you look at that and you say, I could have run a short from there, bro. I could have done this. I could have done that. But you saw how price moved up and down. All right? Now we've got a clearer look based on the FOMC. Now we've got an idea that the next bout of news that's going to come out is going to be the non-farm payrolls and, of course, the ECB for tomorrow for the euro, okay? Whatever happens now, you need to be careful and wait for the retraces across the board. Let's just quickly just go to MATIC one more time. Just want to have a look at MATIC for a second. Here we go. How did that pan play out? Little mini retrace, no retrace, psychological low. Want to see that vector up there, man. But they're going back into psychological ranges, okay? So just be careful. This is where they set the spread from. They're only coming back into the last point they sold from, all right? Same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is only in the same spot that it sold from, all right? It's a perfect structure right here, guys. Perfect structure. Wait for the retrace, continuation to the upside, all right? Now, with that being said, you're probably going to see lots of news across the board. Going to Bloomberg. What are they saying to us? Here we go. With Fed, no, nothing's coming out. Nothing is coming out just yet. We'll leave that. Price action is going to dictate everything for you, okay? So, back to basics. Bitcoin's made the move up. Can't get above the psychological high, all right? You want to see the belief that price is going to continue up. You wait for the retrace. Go straight into the 1 minute time frame. Look, the 1 minute time frame has moved away from these zones. Very important for you, okay? Now that you've got the aggressive move, yesterday's high's been taken, still in the psychological region, what you're looking for now is a break down, then continue up. Go into the 5 minute time frame. Look, sharp move up. There needs to be an order, okay? Focus on the 5 and 13 EMA right here to get an idea of the momentum that's coming into the chart. It's coming up to a point where it can sell from. Don't buy at that point. Wait for it to sell from that point so that you can load up. Because if price can get towards the 50 EMA or the 50 EMA get towards price, then you'll be taking advantage of a trending move. All right? You don't buy here. No, you've had an aggressive move up. There needs to be some order. Bring it down a little bit. Then start loading up, taking advantage. You're trading towards the next point of interest. In the chart, the next point of interest is the psychological high, okay? We go into the 15-minute time frame. Next point of interest is they're working the previous red vector candle up here. So this is where they are recovering retail traders' shorts and hitting the margins. This is where they can turn from to retrace. Wait for it. If you are new, ladies and gentlemen, trying to get over that 100K mark, be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. We did kind of bring the fire, but my voice is starting to break down. And Bitcoin is now starting to work towards that psychological high. They can't keep moving up continuously. There will be pullbacks. Embrace those pullbacks and make sure that you trade light. It's about staying in the game, okay? Mad love and respect, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. If you are new, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon. It's the start of the month and we're going to be bringing some fire over there as well. Patreon.com/tradersreality. All right? Everything you need is in the description. It's been a pleasure serving you. Mad love and respect. Peace.